Now at 6, Gresham police trying to track down this man, calling him a person of interest in a hit and run that sent a motorcyclist to the hospital for a month. We'll have a look at newly released video that shows the exact moment the man was hit.
Plus, we're learning more about a plane that ended up in Coos Bay after it skid off a runway in North Bend, why the NTSB report is promoting even more questions, and
the lenders on these buildings are going to be taking huge losses. There's no two ways about it.
2 of Portland's biggest office buildings up for sale. Who wants a skyscraper? What experts say the sale signs mean for downtown Portland as we kick off the 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Would you remind repeating that F word again, please?
Friday.
Friday is my favorite day of the week, Chris McGinnis. It is a Friday morning. Friday morning with you handling both the weather and the traffic. Let's start with the forecast.
I got 2 clickers, 1 for each of them. All right, let's start off with the live look from downtown Portland. We had some sprinkles overnight and early this morning. We are dry now. At last check at PDX, it's 50 degrees right now at the airport. All right, here's a look at radar over the last little while, and we got some of the ground clutter here and the noise cleaned up. But I think if you look closely here, you'll see 1 or 2 of those tracks just right over downtown and then up into the Cascades. Those showers have worked their way out. We're not like 100% done with the rain today, as in there could be a spotty sprinkle or 2 here and there, but generally today will be characterized as mostly cloudy with a few sun breaks. I've got high temperatures today working their way into the lower 60s. We do have a bit of a wet weekend, especially tomorrow. I'll walk you through that with Futurecast in just a few minutes. Let's get you out the door with a live look at the roads, and for that we start off with a green traffic map. Green usually is good, and there's I-5 up near North Portland and Lombard. Traffic rolling right along there as it is over the Markham Bridge. I-5 traffic looks good. And Highway 26 out near the Sylvan Hill. Maybe a little misty there, but otherwise no major freeway trouble just yet, guys.
Thank you, Chris. We have breaking news this morning. The U.S. Coast Guard is searching for a vessel that reportedly sank 2 miles off the coast of Cannon Beach. They say 4 to 5 flares could be seen from the shore, but when crews got to the location, they only found debris in the water. Anyone with information that could help search efforts should call the Sector Columbia River Command Center at 1-833-769-8724. The number is right there on your screen. We do have a team headed there right now. We'll bring you the latest as we work to learn more about this. In the meantime, Gresham police believe new video from a 2023 New Year's Eve hit and run case could lead to answers.
A warning, we are going to show video of the moment a man on a motorcycle gets hit and run over. He did survive, but only after spending a month in the hospital. So around 10:30 at night on New Year's Eve 2023, Angel Blackburn was riding his motorcycle near 202nd and Division. His wife and 2 young kids we just saw a moment ago were driving in a car not far behind, and they saw what happened next. So here's the video, newly released. You see a car's headlights pop up right there at the start of the video. Police say that's when the suspect rear-ended Blackburn, knocked him to the ground, and then ran him over. That highlight right there on the screen shows Blackburn lying on the ground. He spent a month, again, recovering in the hospital. At the time, police released this footage of a suspect's vehicle. The driver, they say, pulled over to see what happened, but eventually left the scene, leaving the car behind. We spoke to Blackburn's wife shortly after the crash.
People who did this are not good people whatsoever, to not only hit him but run him over and then proceed to just park and casually get out of their car, because we have the video of them getting out of the car afterwards. They didn't run. They didn't care. It was like they were on their way to the grocery store.
Authorities have identified a person of interest, Solomon Martinez Gonzalez. You see him there on your screen. Police say they found a receipt in the car to a liquor store where Gonzalez was seen on surveillance video before the crash happened. Police believe Gonzalez may have fled the state or even the country. Tips in this case can be sent to Gresham Police or Crime Stoppers of Oregon.
Can you open the door?
What you just watched right there was the moment Washington State Police caught up with 2 suspects who allegedly kidnapped a 2- and 3-year-old. One of the suspects was the kid's mother. Police say that they didn't have custody of her kids and took them from their legal guardian in Washington County Monday night. Just a few hours later, authorities issued an Amber Alert. Police eventually located them in a stolen car in Washington, used a pit maneuver to stop them, and arrested the mom and her accomplice. The kids are now in protective custody.
A judge in Multnomah County ruled that former WWE wrestler William Haynes Jr., known in the wrestling world as Billy Jack Haynes, is unfit to stand trial for the killing of his wife. The now 71-year-old is accused of shooting and killing his 85-year-old wife, Jeanette, at their home in southeast Portland last February. Yesterday, the judge said the case cannot proceed because Haynes has a mental disorder. He'll remain in custody and could be committed to the Oregon State Hospital.
We're learning more about the Molalla City Councilor accused of stealing from a middle school volunteer group. Ray Lynn Botsford was arraigned yesterday on 24 counts total, including first-degree theft, aggravated identity theft, and falsifying business records. Botsford served as treasurer for Molalla River Middle School's Parent Action Committee for years. We've learned between March of 2022 and April 2024, she allegedly used the volunteer group's credit card for more than 180 unauthorized personal transactions. Investigators say when another treasurer looked over last July, they realized about $20,000 was missing. Botsford's next court appearance is scheduled for July 1st.
Federal investigators released a preliminary report on last month's plane crash along the Oregon coast, prompting new questions. So on April 7th, a business jet, if you remember, went off the end of the runway at Southwest Oregon Regional Airport in North Bend, and it ended up in the water off Coos Bay. All 5 people on board did survive. The pilot told investigators the brakes weren't working when he touched down on the wet runway. But NTSB investigators say they found no evidence of brake failure, excessive wear, or malfunctions. A final report could take a year or longer.
There's a new option for travelers looking to get from Portland to Seattle without I-5, train delays, or even going through TSA. A revived commuter airline called Seapport Airlines launches next Tuesday, offering flights as often as every 45 minutes during peak travel times. Travelers will board from a private terminal at the Portland airport and land at Seattle's Boeing Field, skipping TSA and avoiding SeaTac completely. The turboprop aircraft seat, it's just 9 passengers, and they can show up just 20 minutes before departure.
With flights every 45 minutes, it's really effectively a conveyor belt, magic carpet in the sky, just going back and forth. If you miss one flight, well, hop on the next one.
A one-way trip on the low end will cost you about $279.
Eyes are going to be loud this weekend over the Portland metro area. That's because of the Oregon International Air Show. Coming back to Hillsborough Airport, this is actually video of one of the show's biggest and loudest stars, the F-35 Lightning fighter jet, landing yesterday in Portland. Here's one of the pilots.
My favorite maneuver personally is the tactical pitch. So that's what I do at the very end of the air show. It looks like the jet's kind of on a skateboard through the sky. Lots of afterburner. Hopefully lots of vapes with the way that the weather is. So the vapor that comes off the wings of the jets, it's going to look awesome.
The air show kicks off tonight in Hillsborough. It continues from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. tomorrow and Sunday. Ticket info and the full lineup of performers is available at OregonAirShow.com. Keep in mind, Chris, there's a second air show they do now each year that happens in McMinnville. That's later on, a few months away, but this is the weekend if you want to check it out in Washington County.
I'm a fighter pilot. That's a cool gig. All right, let's get you out the door and talk about this weekend. If you are going out to the air show, as that pilot mentioned, lots of vape out there, right? Vapor trails coming off the planes because the atmosphere is going to be pretty moist, as in showers, frequent showers in our Saturday forecast. And we also have at least a chance for a rumble of thunder, especially if we manage a few sunbreaks tomorrow. I'm not confident that that's going to happen, but if A, then B, as in if we get some sunbreaks, that could be just enough to get the atmosphere stirring up a little bit to give us some thunder. Highs tomorrow are going to struggle to get back to about 60 to 62. I still have a shower threat on Sunday, but by far Saturday is the wetter of the 2 days for the upcoming weekend. Here's Futurecast today. A lot of cloud cover west of the Cascades, east side of the state, with the air coming down the back slopes of the Cascades. That is sinking air, subsiding air. That usually dries out the cloud cover, and that's exactly what we have in the forecast for anyone on the east side of the state, East Gorge and eastern, central and eastern Oregon today. Let's fast forward into tomorrow. Here comes the first wave of moisture. Tomorrow morning, if this pans out exactly correct, it could be kind of wet in the morning, and then what I'm waiting for is to see if we get some holes in the cloud cover before that would help kind of spur the daytime heating. And if that happens, the showers could be a little more invigorated tomorrow, meaning maybe even a rumble of thunder. But certainly, we've got the green bucket of paint that has been splashed up on Futurecast throughout the day tomorrow, which means on and off frequent showers, I think, for Saturday, drier on Sunday. Right now over downtown Portland, we are cloudy. It's 50 degrees last check at PDX. The plan for today's show is temperatures generally only getting in the low 60s. in the Willamette Valley, which again is a good 8 to 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. Frequent showers tomorrow, possibly even a rumble of thunder. Spotty showers Sunday, and then another weather system clips through here on Monday with yet another chance for some showers. Thereafter, it does look like we trend a little drier and a little warmer. And of course, next weekend is the Memorial Day holiday weekend. There are at least some signs that weather could start to turn pretty warm in that part of our forecast. Back to you.